There's a battle going on in your gut constantly, every day. There's a battle going on in there. Hey, the defense forces, your defenses, your natural defenses there are fighting to keep your body healthy. Now, I'm listening to a book at the moment by Steven Gundry, can't remember, called The Energy Paradox. Okay, he's written a couple of books. Okay, one, Plant Paradox, The Energy Paradox, and another one, can't remember. Not read that one. Anyway, and kind of he describes it in this way, and I thought it was a really cool way to describe what goes on in your gut. Now, in one of the first chapters, he talks about this tribe who still live a very natural, kind of nomadic, very organic, very human lifestyle. They're hunter-gatherers. Okay, they're called the Hadza tribe. I think he said they were in Zimbabwe. Okay, they're in Africa somewhere. I can't remember exactly where he said. Anyway, called the Hadza tribe, and they were studied for their calorific intake and their activity levels. And what they discovered was that even though these people are incredibly active in comparison to most of us in the Western world, okay, they go out, they walk miles every day, they hunt, they gather, they're very active. Their calorific need is about the same as somebody who works in an office, okay, somebody with very low activity levels. And he found that obviously that's quite interesting, because why are these people who kind of are so active, why do they not need, I don't know, like 3,000, 4,000 calories a day to survive and, kind of maintain a healthy weight, whereas someone who's very inactive needs, again, like the government guidance, like kind of 1,500, 2,000 calories a day to maintain or lose weight, or whatever it might be for you. Hey, why is that? And the answer really is in how our gut works. Okay, it's in inflammation and our immune response. And what he suggests is that through modern farming, through the processed foods that we eat, through natural chemicals that we find in foods that our body disagrees with, such as he has a big thing about this chemical called lectins, okay, and they inflame the gut. Now, when our body is inflamed under stress, that requires quite a large calorific need to repair the damage. So we're hungry in the Western world to simply repair damage that we're causing ourselves via our lifestyles, okay, the foods we eat, the way we farm, the way we live our lives. Whereas the Hadza people, who don't have all of that, they live a very organic, natural lifestyle, very low inflammation. So even though they're very active, their body isn't constantly fighting inflammation from whatever source it might be. Hey, whether it's the air, whether it's food, whether it's blue light, wherever it's from. So they're not fighting all these things off all the time. So even though they're active, they don't need huge amounts of calories to maintain their weight, because they're not having to fight off all these things all the time. Whereas, on the other hand, us here with antibiotics and the way we've treated the soil and intensive farming over particularly the last 100 years or so, and certainly over the last couple of hundred, we've kind of created a system that encourages inflammation in our body. So we've got a lot more work to do in terms of repairing ourselves compared to the people who still live very natural, very human lifestyles. So our calorific need goes up because we've got a lot more repair to do on a daily basis. That obviously then makes us hungry. If we then go and eat the wrong thing, it's going to create more inflammation. Our body then says, I've got this thing to fight, I need more food, I need more. It doesn't really tell us what it is. That's a big issue. It doesn't tell us what food we need to go out and repair. I kind of then got thinking about protein. So obviously protein is the thing that our body uses to repair damage, okay? Whole variety of proteins. And is that why when we have a higher protein, lower carbohydrate usually, maybe low fat, maybe not, when we have a higher protein diet, maybe that's why we lose weight, because then we have the ingredients to repair the damage, so that inflammation doesn't keep us swollen up, doesn't keep us fat, doesn't keep us hungry anymore. So maybe some of these guys are right, okay? These PTs are out there, okay, spouting on about high protein. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. Okay? I don't have a problem with it, to be honest. I really have a problem with how people eat, as long as it's not high carb. As long as it's not high carb all the time. Okay? So I thought that was super interesting. He's got a lot of other stuff going on in there, but there's a battle. Let's get back to that. There's a battle going on in your gut. Okay, and your defense forces, they're getting battered and bashed by all of these chemicals, all of these forces that are trying to get in. Now there's good in there as well. So imagine the Great Wall of China. Okay, and there's all these gates in the Great Wall of China. I don't know if there really is in the Great Wall of China, I doubt it, but let's imagine the Great Wall of China and just pretend that there's loads of gates in there. Okay, and then there's thousands of enemy hordes out at the walls, all trying to get in. Okay, and on the inside, well, that's the rest of your body. Okay, so you've got China. Okay, the rest of your body is in there. Okay, that's your heart, your lungs, your blood, your lymphatic tissues, your whatever. Okay, it's everything else. Okay, but okay, in our gut, we've got these hordes of enemy trying to get in, but you've also got loads and loads of good guys in there as well. And you need to get the good guys in and not let the bad guys in at the same time. Obviously, our body's struggling to do that. And over months, years, okay, the bad guys, they're battling down the walls. Okay, they're wearing down the walls, and bits of it maybe are falling apart and breaking apart. And there's not enough good guys out there to come in onto the other side, into China, to repair the wall before it gets bashed down again. So that's what's going on in our body. Okay, you've got a massive defense system, and it's super good. Okay, it's super, super good. Okay, but when things get in that we don't want to get in, we bombard them too. Okay, so there's a secondary defense system. Okay, maybe that's fighter jets. Okay, I just heard a plane going over. Okay, maybe that's fighter jets. They're coming in, and there's a bunch of bad guys, but there's a bunch of good guys around it as well. Okay, they're all intermingled, bad and good, all together. And the airstrike comes in, and it blows them all up. Okay? Blows them all up, good and the bad. Okay, so then you've got to feed more in. You've got to try and get more in, constantly keeping the good guys topped up to fight off the bad guys. So the key here is try and put less of the bad guys in. Okay, let the wall repair so that the fighter jets don't have to come in and blast everything into smithereens. And the fighter jets are your immune system. Okay, the Great Wall is literally like the intestinal wall, and the gut bacteria, they're part of that as well. So they're like on the wall, they're fighting as well. Okay, they're doing their thing. They're saying it like, you guys come in, you guys stay out. Maybe they've got bows and arrows. Okay, so we've got all this stuff going on. Okay, it's like a war. Okay, it's a lot more gentle than a war, but it's a bit like a war. Okay, with thousands, millions, in fact trillions. Okay, you've got trillions of gut bacteria in there, trillions of cells, who are all trying to protect you from damage from bad guys. Okay, they're not necessarily all bad guys. Okay, so what can happen is good guys get in, but they haven't been fully processed, haven't checked their passports. Okay, they haven't had their vaccine. Okay, however you want to think about it. Okay, they haven't got their passports. So sometimes good guys get in and they're just hanging out. Okay, they're doing their thing. They've got into the bloodstream, they've got into the lymphatic system, they've got into wherever they need to go, but haven't checked their passport. Immune system comes in, blows them up. Okay, so then we need to put more good guys in. again. Okay, so not only are we causing damage, okay, once the damage is caused, sometimes our body doesn't recognize what's actually going on because things haven't been fully processed. We must check your papers. Okay, the papers haven't been checked, boom. The good guys get blown up and the bad guys get blown up. Okay, all because the wall has been broken down over a period of time. Okay, and basically all hell breaks loose. Okay, everything all goes wrong all at the same time. So we've got to stop putting so much bad in. Now there's also stress is involved. Okay, emotions are involved. A big part to play in what I do just for general health as well as gut health. Okay, we all, if anyone's experienced IBS or gut problems, you all know that it gets worse when you're stressed. Okay, pain, just general physical pain, could be anywhere, gets worse when you're stressed. Okay, when you are kind of emotionally stressed, that has an impact on your immune system. Your immune system gets dampened. Okay, it's been tested, that's kind of known, that's why meditation is kind of good for your immune system. It helps you calm down, it helps you de-stress. Okay, it's not necessarily meditation what I teach other things, but hey, it's a good place to start. If you're not meditating and you have stress and maybe you have gut problems, meditation, okay, give it a go. It doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to take hours, as little as kind of 5 or 10 minutes, once or twice a day. It doesn't have to be a huge time consuming thing. Okay? Calm your mind, calm your body, your immune response. Okay, I'm just navigating big muddy puddles right now. Your immune response will calm down and your body will then not attack so many of the good guys. Okay, your small intestine will have a stronger chance at recovering from all the damage that's been caused over the period of time from the foods that have come in that have not been processed fully by stomach acid or by the bacteria before getting to where they've gone and caused the damage. So what am I getting at? Calories are not necessarily the answer. Okay. Higher protein might be a good idea while you're trying to recover. Okay. Try and keep it natural. Okay. Okay. More in this book. Okay, I'll give you about. Okay, the energy paradox is that Dr. Steven Gundry, can't remember, talks about this chemical called lectins. Okay, that's found in plants, seeds, particularly unripe stuff. Okay, but plants, seeds, beans are another big source of them. Okay, our body doesn't do too well at them. Okay, they're a defense system for the plant. Okay, so lectins are there to protect the plant so that it can reproduce. It makes the food taste bitter. It makes a vegetable or whatever, a seed, not taste too good, so that a deer or a cow or a human or a whatever doesn't come along and eat it before it's ready, because if that happens, then that plant won't reproduce. Okay, the next generation of seeds, plants or flowers that it's trying so hard to create won't come along. Okay, so it puts up this defense system. It's in a chemical format called lectin, and our body doesn't like them. Okay, causes inflammation. So we tend not to eat them, or we shouldn't eat them. Yet we do. Okay, unnaturally ripened fruits and vegetables, okay, are going to be chock full of them. Okay, beans, legumes, okay, common foods, particularly on veggie, vegan diets, okay, can cause high levels of inflammation. Again, protein sources, if you're vegetarian and vegan, kind of limited. Okay, you might think, yeah, okay, you can get protein from vegetables. Okay, so it's in there. Okay, quantity-wise, might be too low, considering the potential level of damage you might be doing with certain other foods. Okay, not necessarily true, and I'm not saying it's just vegetarians and vegans. Okay, there's omnivores as well. Okay, myself probably included. Not always got the best diet. In fact, I can guarantee I've not always got the best diet. It's loads of room for improvement. Okay, loads of room for improvement. But if protein level is high enough and good enough, then maybe that damage will reduce, okay, or be repaired more easily. See, the gut lining repairs roughly every 5 days. Every 5 days, completely clean slate. So if you were to stop entirely causing damage for about 5 to 7 days, and there's a big and, okay, and your gut lining repaired perfectly first time, then theoretically, if you took a week off and you had enough protein in your system, you could repair everything in a week. Okay, now that's not quite how cells work. Okay, they don't repair perfectly every time. Okay, they often repair with damage, but if they repair better, oops, took a screenshot of that as well, amazing. If they repair better than they did before, fine. Still good, we're good. That's staying in, by the way. If they repair better than they did before, then that's good. Okay, if they repair the same or worse, then that's not so good. Okay, then you're looking at long-term damage, potential disease processes happening at some point in the future, if they're not already happening now. So, increase protein, probably a good option. Decrease inflammation-causing foods. Now, that's the difficulty, because a lot of healthy foods can be inflammation-causing. Now, you might want to go back and look at some of my other videos on how light affects gut health, okay, the gut bacteria, and how, and a bit earlier in this one, lectins, okay, certain chemical compounds in certain foods will affect inflammation levels. There's so many things you can do to decrease inflammation overall. De-stressing, getting out for walks in nature, great thing, okay. Earthing, you might want to consider doing that. Big round thing in the sky called the sun, get more of that, okay. It's always, I'll say it again, always, light gets in through our skin, through our eyes, tells us what time of day it is, tells us what hormones to produce, tells our gut what foods to expect at what time of year, because that's what we are. We're a signal processing machine, and that is all. Okay? We are an energy-based signal processing machine. Kind of just like a computer, but we're a bit squishier. Anyway, cool, I think that's it. It's a really interesting book, okay? I do highly recommend. I'm only a couple of chapters in now, but I can tell it's going to be a very interesting book. I'm going to get a lot of insight out of reading it. Maybe I'll give you a bit more on that in the future, over the next couple of weeks. A few more insights into what Dr. Steven Gundry, I should really check his name first, what he suggests and recommends to help repair this, okay? Protein, avoidance of lectins, okay? Decrease inflammation. Your energy levels, okay, will go up. Okay? And when you've got good energy levels, your injury risk, your chronic pain risk goes down. Okay? Guaranteed. Okay? Our body runs on electrons. Voltage. Okay? Voltage isn't high enough for a long enough period of time. Bam, disease. Bam, pain. Okay? Inflammation causes damage. We have to send voltage to repair that damage, because if my guts are damaged, then that's kind of life-threatening. Okay, so my body is going to send as much energy as it can, or as much energy as it needs to repair my gut as fast as it can, if it can. But that means for the rest of my body, muscles, tendons, ligaments, they're kind of less important in terms of survival. My body's going to look after the organ first, and it will look after the muscles, tendons, ligaments, bones, etc. after, because they're kind of they're not surplus to requirements, but they are secondary to survival. Right? Other people can bring me food if I'm sick, right? But if my guts are knackered, I can't process that food to get it into my system, and I will very shortly die if my guts aren't repaired. So my body is going to repair my guts over, or my organs over and above joints, ligaments, tendons, muscles, fascia. Okay, as important as that stuff is, my organs far outweigh in importance compared to muscles. Anyway, that's it. Nice speaking to you. Remember, please like, subscribe, share. If you want to leave me your thoughts and comments, let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you'd like to know more about, and I will get back to you. Thanks for watching.